What's up, guys? We're back again for another streaming session, baby. And we're back. Let's get into it here. Let's get into it. Hopefully, y'all are having a good week so far. We'll get into today's price action. We'll get into kind of what I touched, where I was looking at setups I'm looking at for tomorrow. We got data in the morning. We got some things setting up, so I'm not too feeling too grim about this. I'm liking this. I mean, yeah, we can get into this. We can get into this. Don't you worry. Setups I'm watching tomorrow. There's some good setups. So I have a feeling we're gonna bank tomorrow for sure. A lot of people think Christmas Eve or the day the few days before Christmas Eve or Christmas whatever, it kind of slows down. And yeah, I mean that is true, right? Today we saw some pretty low volume, but we know that if it's low volume, we can use that as our advantage. And how we use that today, kind of on our advantage, or knowing what's going to happen based off that, helps a lot. So yeah, we'll get into that. Let's get at least 50 people in here, and we'll get it started. We've got about 25 people. Shout out to you guys showing up. Let's get 50 people in here. Get it going. All right, cool. All right. Yeah, let's get it going. All right, cool. Let's get it going. So pretty much what I only thing I touched today was SPY. We saw that, we're up in this area, and I knew we would likely end up moving to our 682 level. So, we saw a huge gap up on SPY and QQ. Also, gold completely gapped up $8 here and kept it pushing. Absolutely crazy work here, up $4 after hours, still gapping up here. So gold's on a tear now, silver's on a tear, platinum's on a tear. Those precious metals are on a tear right now. So we saw SPY, QQ gap up. We know SPY is just right here at all-time highs. We are right back at all-time highs. So we know not to get bearish, even though we did create the gaps, right? We gapped up, and the gap is still open for SPY there. Now Q, a little bit weaker. It pushed up and hit that 621 level and knifed. So it did knife and ended up eating most of that gap there on that first kind of hourly candle. Now from 621 all the way down to 619, a dollar and a half move right there. Yes, puts could have worked. And then, the next candle opened up, pushed up, and then ended up coming down a little bit more. So yeah, that was a little bit better move. But other than that, if you didn't know to get out of that, once it filled that gap, you would have got you chopped to shreds. So really, I wasn't looking for those puts on the move down because SPY wasn't following it. Q was weaker. I liked it for that move, but I just didn't want to play lottos, to be honest. Especially if it was low volume. I saw it was low volume, and I just didn't want to play puts with low volume. So what I was kind of looking at is it's low volume. We're scooping SPY on the move down here, knowing we should break above 684.21, right? We should break above this. And when we break above that, we will end up running to our 685 zone right here, right? So we see that right there. Easily we hit that today. So target hit, and you can see, we perfectly hit it right there off that, let's say 4 hours went by. So that fourth hourly candle right there, we finally hit it. It took all day slow. We were in SPY calls 2 days out, expiration took forever for it to hit, but it eventually hit up here, and we're still holding up very well as SPY is still gearing up to run back to 685, which we're already kind of teetering at it. And then if we end up breaking above that, we're running to 688. We're running to 690. Like we're already 688. Like we're there. We're already going to go there. So let's see what they do tomorrow. If it's low volume, we're just going to melt up. So I would say look for dips. Ideally, if we open up above 685.54, I would say look for dips. As long as you're above that, look for the dips. If we open up in this area right here, I would say if it's still low volume, just look for the dips down here as best as you can. If not, just stay a little patient and see if we end up coming down to this demand in this gap. I would say, be a little bit more patient there, and we'll see kind of what happens. So far, it's all green so far. We're just kind of holding up. So let's see what happens. Now, Q, I do like Q. Q's up 68 cents. I do like Q now. Q filled its gap, so there's no reason for us to come down, right? It filled the gap into here. Demand held really nicely. Demand held, and now we're flagging here. So we held real cap demand here. Buyer stepped in perfectly. That was really the main move. Slamming calls into this demand for that wick right out. You would have been up and then just maybe take the win, sat back. We are just grinding on this 619 level that we're up back above it. And now we're flagging here. And to be honest, I could probably move this flag to the 619 because it is that median pattern. So flagging here, I like this. If we end up breaking this flag, I know for sure we end up breaking above our outside of this flag. We are going to move right back to that 621 level that we rejected, and then we perfectly run to 623, 624 target zone up here. And that's what I'm looking for right there, right? And it makes a lot of sense because we gapped up above the demand, we held the demand, and we did not go touch that supply yet. So the only logical thing when it comes to the zones is tells us where we're going next. And we should be running to that 623, 624. So if you even want to wait till we break above that 621.75 level up here tomorrow, go for it. That would be, waiting for the exact confirmation. Now you'll still get a $2.50 move, possibly $3 move if it ends up running to 624 higher. Yeah, I mean, that's a guaranteed right there. Now, say it ends up failing that, say it ends up coming to demand, and we just kind of going lower, then we'll end up playing kind of Friday's levels on the move back down. I don't know if I'm interested in that, but, I won't rule it out. We'll see. Setups I'm looking at right now, right? NVIDIA ended up gapping up pretty gnarly to our 183, 184 area. I knew we'd run to here, and we perfectly gapped up to it, and we just kind of grinding in it now. We still have the gap below. We are flagging. Let's see what happens. A break above there, we'll end up running to 186, 187. So a break above 184.47 is going to run to 186, 187. If it ends up losing kind of the 182.97 here, I have an alert for the below because possibly, puts will work for the move back to 181 and possibly lower. It has the gap still open. It didn't fill the gap. Say we're kind of just doing this number, right? And then we break it or the hourly opens up outside right there. We will likely just kind of dump right into that area right there. So that's still a good play. So I'm not going to rule that out of not playing that at all for sure. And let me check the puts real quick. Puts are pretty cheap. The 180s are pretty cheap, to be honest. Yeah, for knowing that this will go to 181, 180, those are pretty cheap. I'm liking it. So I'm not ruling that out for tomorrow, just in case if the market does not go higher. If you don't think we go higher, we end up coming down. The NVIDIA is going to be the first name I look at for that gap fill. Possibly, Tesla too has that gap fill right there as well. Tesla broke out of the 491 level. So I was telling you guys this, on the stream last night. We were making higher lows. We're going to gap up, break here. And once we break that 491, should run to 500. And we hit 498.82. We didn't hit 500, but we did break above that 491.50 and ran $7.30. So that's not too bad, but not the move exactly I was looking for. It's really weird that Tesla is strong and weak at the same time. Any type of push up is just beginning met with sellers as it's pulling down, which makes zero sense. But ended up couldn't break above that 495, which was that high of day on the 17th. So, I'm not really looking to play this. I'm just watching it still, but kind of looking at that, see what happens. It is still squeezing again, so see what happens. One name I am watching here is Google. I'm seeing Google Flow hit the tape, right? They're hitting it with Flow. I'm seeing Flow. They're posting. Buyers are stepping in here pretty aggressively. I do like how we knifed into that demand, held that. Downtrend breakout, right? If we look at it on the 4 hour here, downtrend breakout official today, held it. And now if we end up opening above that 310 level right here, I know we're going to run to at least the 313, 312. That's really all I'm aiming for this week. It's possible we do run to 315, but I'm not going to hold my breath. I would like us to open up above that 310. Any dip above that or below that, say we open up above 310, any dip right back down, I'm slamming that for that rocket to 312, 313. I'm liking that. So And I'll probably go not this week's or next week's. I'll probably go 2 weeks out on the contracts. So let's see kind of what happens with that. I'm very interested on that as well. So I want to see if they can get there. This is honestly top watch. So if you're a Recap member watching this right now, I'm really going to be eyeing Google tomorrow as a definite, especially if we go 2 weeks out or whatever. But we'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling, because the weeklies, I'm not really liking the weeklies. I'm not liking the weeklies just because this week's a holiday, so you gotta be careful. Gotta be careful. As far as setups though, I saw Amazon push up. We're still inside this, I would say, rising wedge, to be honest, as we're grinding into this supply. Each time we've hit this supply, we keep rejecting out. How many times have we hit this in the past few days, right? 4 days, every single day has hit it and rejected out. So today was no different. If you would have slammed puts into it and it got that reject out, you would have made some money on there. So 3 days straight. Let's see what it does as it squeezes out. If it ends up kind of rejecting up here and then breaking down, I'm going to be looking probably for right there for us to break that purple level right there. And we end up breaking under that, then we're definitely going to fall probably sharp to 225. So a good $3 move is what I'm looking for, like that. Something like that. Possibly we go lower, maybe that gap down there, but I doubt it. We'll probably end up coming into just this area. So a win is a win. That's what I'm looking for. Today was just one of those days where it was like, you see green, take green. Especially with SPY, we were fighting it out for the longest time. And now look at that, SPY at 685.24. We're right at the top of the zone, and they're going to try and break above this and go higher into tomorrow. I already know it. Low volume, they're just going to melt it up. So let's kind of see what they do. I do like Q here, right? It's already at 620.11. I expect it to go zone to zone. So let's see if we can nail that tomorrow. If we don't agree with the contracts here, let's take a look at that. I think I'm going to go end of week, right? This 26. 624. Yeah, something that I know would go in the money or at the money, those 624s, but I want it under $100. 24th, tomorrow's 23rd. I could do the 24th and get the 622s, knowing those will definitely go in the money. If I can get them under 100, wouldn't be too bad. So let's see kind of what they do here. We're up $1 here. Gold is still ripping faces. So I like this. I like it. And whenever gold comes down for that gap fill, I'm ready to play that. We saw AMD pretty sharp run up there pre-market, and ended up just knifing and doing the QQQ dance today. Really just sharp knife, and then did nothing for after that hours. We saw Microsoft do the round trip here, up, down, and then still sideways. So still squeezing here on the 4 hour. Doesn't look too crazy, but again, still squeezing here. Wow. Eventually that's going to break, and it's going to be a pretty good move. Meta doing the same thing, just kind of sideways. So big watch for tomorrow is going to be Google. Google will end up moving Q up with it. So if we can catch the move off Q, then we know, Google will be probably pushing it or driving it. So we can either go either or. We'll see. I'll be watching that. Like I said, when it comes to the zones, we defended here on the zones for demand. We should run to 623, 624 target tomorrow. That's what I'm going to be eyeing. So that's what I'm going to be eyeing for tomorrow. For QQ, SPY, kind of the same thing. If we can break above that 685 now, I need us to get away from this gap. Kind of scared me a little bit today. I had no fear. I was saying it too. I was like, no fear. It's possible we come down and wick to that, but regardless, calls are going to work. Just have no fear and, let it melt back up. And it took all day. I'm telling you, it took all day. I really wish those contracts move a little bit better that we're in, but it's all good. Tomorrow, we're going to get a banger play, and that's it, right? Because a lot of this was range, right? And a lot of this easily range. Look at that. Apple ended up rejecting, coming down. And if you chose the wrong name today, again, you could have easily lost. So it's all about probably the correct selection, and of course, strike selection as well. Not just getting the direction right on the name. You got to do strike selection as well. So it's all about narrowing it down to what you're really focusing on, right? SPY Q, I like setups. I like these setups for flagging. we know that either way, we could really win off either direction. Google loving this squeeze. It's doing the Tesla squeeze, so it should rocket to where we think it should, to 312, 313 plus, especially with flows hitting it. So they see a bigger move coming. So they could even go to 315 if it really wanted to. But yeah, 313, 312 is my weekly target. So that's what I'm aiming for if we end up going for it. If not, we'll see. IWM actually had a really good day today. Look at this. Really good day at open. That hourly ended up breaking out pretty nicely. Let's see if we can kind of make sense. Yeah, and pretty good move. And then it ended up kind of just fading back down there. Not too bad. On the 15 looked really good. Look at that. Just kind of pushed and just kind of kept it going. So from 252 all the way to 255, $3 move. That's not too bad. Not too bad at all. SpyX still has that gap. So we're kind of just staying a little bit more cautious with that gap, and looking like we're going to turn our attention to the stronger name now with Q, as Q was not the stronger name today. It was at first pre-market and then was not. So now that it's, got every reason to get out the way, to go down, right? That gap's out the way, it filled it. We held demand. Buyers are here. They're just saying we're going to melt up to 623, 624. Let's go for it. Let's see what happens. And if, that works out fine, or if that looks good, or if it still looks good and we don't feel like playing, but we feel like playing Google because Google's getting ready to, really push here, then we'll play tomorrow. Either way, we're looking for that banger, and we're going to get it regardless. We're definitely going to get it. We're going to stay patient for it, and we're going to roll on it. The ones that, we know, should be pretty good. So there's no reason for us to, I would say, push it or do anything crazy. I do like these setups. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens, guys. I'm ready to rock. Just because it's holiday week doesn't mean that we're not going to bank. I'm going to be live trading every day this week, and possibly Friday, I'm going to live trade for free for everyone. Everyone kind of watching this, right? All members, all live members, and all of you guys. I might just stream here like I'm doing right now for the live session. What do y'all think? Should I do that? Let me know in chat. Let me know if I should, or I'll send out a tweet right now. I'm gonna be like, heart this if I should live stream. If I should live stream Friday morning session, live trade with me, or I should do a certain amount of likes. I'm gonna do 20 likes. And I'll live stream 20 likes, and live stream Friday morning session, live trade with me. Yeah, that sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. Yeah, go. All right, so I tweeted out. Go like it. 20 likes. I'll live stream for free for all you guys on here, the main channel. And yeah, we'll get some Lotto Friday bangers. We've had some banger Lotto Fridays, so I would like to continue that and keep it moving and see what we can do. Tesla Lotto Friday, maybe. Who knows? We got some bangers. We had a banger QQ. We did QQ and then NVIDIA on Lotto Friday, so that was pretty cool. That was an absolute banger. So, you never know. We might catch something major. So go like the tweet. We'll see what's up. Anyways, yeah, I just want to go over game plans. Not too many good game plans or setups I'm seeing, other than the ones I already called out: Google, QQ, Spy, possibly Tesla. Gap fill if we end up coming back down there. Maybe NVIDIA gap fill back down if it doesn't end up breaking up higher, which it came close to the gap and then reversed. So anytime I've seen that, usually we just end up not filling that gap. We end up just running it up. So I'll be watching up for the upside more, see if we can get more, squeeze more there. I hate how, some of these main moves I was watching ended up just kind of happening overnight. It kind of sucks, but it's just part of the game, how it goes, the move happening overnight. So it's all good. It is all good. Take it. We'll take it. We'll see. We'll see though. We'll see. QQ still pushing up pretty good here. 620 right now, just kind of melting up. 621. I mean, even if we open up in this area tomorrow, again, any dips, we're going to have to literally wait for those dips, though. Rico Cap members, if you're watching this, if you're a live member, you better tell me in the morning, hey, we're looking for those dips if we open up in this range. If we end up opening up above today's high, right, then just know it's going to be like Friday, how we just rocketed. So, we'll be ready for that, sure. But again, dips. We looking for the red candle slam, right, on the calls. I'm tired of slamming on green candles and my entry being and then having to wait, and then it ends up working. I don't like that. I want it to work immediately. So you want my trades, wap.com/real capital. That's how I do things. Trades start working immediately. I love that. Or, if it's slow, just do less. Let it work. Let it work. But we are seeing a little bit more movement here. After hours, all green, all green here. And SPY's already at 685.42. So already in this zone, ready to go higher. Yeah. Looking good. Looking real good. So I'm excited. I mean, we got Google. Google's already above our breakout here. QQ is about to be above the breakout. I mean, we're going to run to that next zone, and I'm ready to catch it tomorrow for sure. So we'll see kind of what happens with that. I sense a banger coming. I sense a banger tomorrow. And then we'll trade Christmas Eve, get it done early, and then we'll see. But we do have news in the morning. That's right. We have news, GDP and all that. So let's see if, that ends up kind of moving us or what that does. That should bring a little bit of volatility enough to move around in at least, right? So let's see. I'm ready to kill it. Questions, let me know. Let me know in stream. DM me if y'all thinking about joining the service. Shout out to 100 of y'all showing up, 90, 100 of y'all showing up here. I know it's Christmas week, but money's got to be made here. Got to keep the lights on around here. We got to keep the lights on. And I like the setup. Also, SPY is near all-time highs, right? We're slowly melting up. We're $3 off, less than $3 off from new all-time highs. We're just melting up. Let it melt. Let it melt. Hardest part is just picking the right strike, I would say. And let me help you with that. Let's not go with any weeklies. Let's look for next week's. Let's look for, maybe, let's look for Mondays, next Tuesdays, whatever, right? Something that's not expensive, but something that's also, let's look for dips, right? Let's look for that move. I know for sure at least Q is going to run to 623, 624 from there. What they do from there is going to be interesting, but see if we can take that ride up. I'm willing to go for it. So we'll see. Google as well. So let's keep an eye on some of these names, and video holding up very well as well. So not bad at all. Quantum names looking green today. Quantum names ripping today, huh? Not really NBS, maybe QUBT. QUBT rip today. D-Wave, Rigetti, Ion Q, stocks climbing, retail fueled Santa rally, downtrend breakout on QUBT there. Bull flagging going into tomorrow. Don't know if I would be touching this, but I do like how this went zone to zone there. Good move. Cheap contracts too, so they move. Haven't touched this in a minute. Yeah, look at that. They move. So this is a massive move, to be honest. What, $5 move? Let's take a look on the 4 hours. Is it hitting anything interesting? Just hitting the zones again. I haven't tracked this since. Obviously, you can see it. Haven't tracked this since all the way back here in early November. Haven't touched it. I still have some alerts on for it. Let me turn that off because I don't want to hear all that, and that's not even close to where we're at anyways. Not too bad. Yeah, looks like quantum names pushed out. What a good move here today, with QBTS being probably one of the bigger winners here, right? Not bad. Good breakout there. INOD, same thing, zone to zone, end up moving. Let's take a little hourly. Interesting. Hold on, this one I might actually agree. I didn't finish zoning this. There's a level in between here, about right there, 56. I just like how some of these are flagging though. Maybe, I don't know. We'll take a look at that. Tim not really doing anything. Down in the 60s. Not a good look for Tim. Pulling down there. Not a good look. We'll see. Gold, we'll see again. It's going to be gapping up here more. Maybe we'll look for dips on gold. I don't know. I don't like how those contracts are moving at all, but the volume. We need to look for contracts with major volume. 9,000 here on that 409. That was today's expirations. Look at tomorrow's or to 24s. 6K. Wow. I mean, those are already in the money, so makes sense right there. Massive. We'll see. We do have options. We got options. We got options. I mean, if we really have to kind of scramble a little bit, I'm not too worried here. We still got some really good options to see what happens. So, of course, sticking to SPY QQ on what we do here on this flag, easy move there. Google might lead the way tomorrow. Let's see if it does that. Tesla's still holding up here at that 691 after hours, that 691 level. See if it ends up making fresh new highs, or closes new all-time highs. We'll see about that. TSM still making its way. Downtrend breakout. Oh, this is a nice downtrend breakout. Holding, and it's kind of just ripping too. All right, guys, we're gonna live chart this TSM. We have to, because this is not bad. And I'm just gonna do it based off of just what I see right here. So off of the fresh levels here. And kind of chart it looking for tomorrow, even though, let's see. Let's actually look at the contracts before I get into this. 300. A little out the way, but not too bad. The volume's a little low on them. It's not the craziest, but all right, we'll chart it. 284, 281 was the last time we were in this level. Broke out of it, rejected. Sloppy, but doesn't look too bad. I would say something's more right here. It's a little bit more obvious right here. About right there. It's a little bit more obvious. I would say there's a level like right here that I ended up hitting. I don't think it's a major level. I think it's a blue level. Yeah, because you can kind of see it right there. It's actually right there. No, it's not. It's actually right there. Yeah, right where I had it. I'll leave that as a level for right now. I don't know if that's... I don't think that's a zone. I see this one, not too bad. This one lines up pretty well. About right there. I'd play it a little safe and put it right there. So it is holding this demand. There is some type of level right here, blue level. I don't like how close that is though. It's right here. And then all we need to be concerned about is what the next level up is, right? Where's that at? About right here. Yeah, it's about right there. Does that make sense? It makes a little bit more sense around there, yeah. Okay, let's add one more above that just in case. It would actually be around here. This is a little bit harder. Yeah, I really think it's this. Hold on, I think it's right here, and then I think the top would be right on that smaller zone. Let's see if that makes sense. Going across. Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. It makes sense for now. We just need to know where some of the sellers are at. So then let's draw. Usually this would be a bigger base though. It did gap up, so there's a level there too. This would be a bigger base. Anytime a downtrend breakout is a bigger base. Let's get on the hourly real quick. We can probably make this a little bit cleaner on the hourly. But I'm not going to. We'll keep it on the 4 hour. That's kind of... Does that make sense? It makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense. All right, fine. We're not going to get too piggy with it right here. We're just going to try and rough draft this a little bit and kind of see where we're at to see if we got more gas in the tank for TSM. Let's see, though. Need to see it. All right, now we got the zones. All right, we can see where some of the sellers are sitting. And we can check the volume profile too to see if we get an accurate reading on where we're at on that. We just got to know some targets, right? Some targets. All right, that makes... That makes a lot of sense. We do have that gap down there, whatever. All right. Makes a lot of sense. Was that in play here? That was in play. Push down here. About right. No, it would be about right here. Trend line down. Right. Ended up rejecting there. Not too bad. So that matches up. Yellow trend line still under it. Ended up breaking it today, right? Ended up breaking it today, and we ended up pushing out there. So not too bad. And this is for TSM. TSM here. All right. Now we can determine here. And it kind of did a little bit of what Q did today as well, where it ended up hitting a level, but held above a zone. Okay. Either way, we see this is flagging. So we do know calls can work out of this zone for that move up into here. So we're going to be looking for a move into this zone right here as our target. So how far away is that? We're at 292. That's 297, 299. So if we end up kind of even waiting for 295, we still get a $5 move for really, really looking at it. That 300 doesn't look too bad. The spread is a little bit wide though on some of these. Maybe let's take a look at next week's just in case. And a little juiced. All right. If anything, we'll probably just go for this week and we'll probably end up doing something very close to at the money and the money. We'll see though. I'm going to put my alerts right there. Let me know when we're above there. And of course, when we hit target right up there into this zone, I will keep an eye on this right now. It is at 293.53. So we're just kind of holding up here. So let's see what happens. A quick little chart of that. I want to see if we end up kind of going there or not. Anyways, the reason why I'm charting it though is to make sure I have some decent setups for tomorrow. That's it. That's literally it. Just have some decent setups. And I do like this on the move down or on this kind of downtrend breakout. Anytime we see a downtrend breakout, we always see us magnet back to where we sold off. And so the official kind of sell off would have been right here on this area. So 303, 304. So not too bad. Let's see if we can follow this back up on the tail end. Ideally, we would have taken it Friday, right, for that move up. Friday is the downtrend breakout, and then today kind of just held up there. Oh, there we go. That actually looks a little bit better. And even then, to be honest, we probably could have just gone like that. No, I don't know. That looks a little bit better. Holding it up right there. Yeah, not too bad. Downtrend breakout. Let's see what happens. We'll be looking at that. Q still holding up here, so let's see what it does. Anyways, all right. We got game plans set up. I like Q and SPY here. Let's see what Google does. That's it. Three solid options. And if I can't get one out of those three, then we can always roll to, gold, make something out of gold. Gold is still ripping here. Or we can make something out of NVIDIA. Maybe the gap fill. We'll see. If it even goes for it or not, who knows? But anyways, all right. Done for this streaming session, guys. You want my trades, wap.com/Rio Capital. Or if you want to learn more about the organization, riocap.com. Appreciate y'all showing up. Quick stream here. I know it's holiday season. No one wants to lock in, but we got to lock in. And I'm here for the people that want to lock in. So, Google's still holding this uptrend. As long as we still hold uptrend on some of these names, let's keep riding it for the move up and keep banking and keep winning. So let's do it. Anyways, all right. Appreciate y'all showing up, guys. Have a good rest of y'all's night. Get some rest, and I'll see you guys in the morning.